You're a friend of the family from way back. Multiple stations. Look who it is. Marcy always say, start off, tell folks who you are, what you do.
Well, I'm Marcy Thornhill. I'm the founder and CEO of Mrs. Marcy's Homemade, the first Black woman-owned applesauce manufacturer.
Now, that's a different hat for you, because I remember you as an educator.
Absolutely.
You are still the educator, yes. But you always had a thing about the business and helping community. Okay, let's talk about the birth of the applesauce. Because I remember when you were talking about you were posting and you were going to do that. All of a sudden, you've done some big things and it's moved along. Let's talk about making dreams happen and the process of applesauce.
Well, the pandemic.
Really?
It paused a lot of people as far as starting businesses and income and economics. The country, the world was in a crazy state. And really simply, I had apples at home and I wanted to preserve food.
Did you come from that?
Absolutely not. So I was born in New York, moved to Richmond. My mother's from the South, but we never came. Never did anything like that. I had to learn how to do it. And so with that, I started making applesauce to preserve food, posted one picture on Facebook.
I remember.
Channel 6 saw it. I said, oh, we want to air it on made in Virginia spot. Cool. And when they did that,
it blew up. So that's what happened. All right. So before, I remember the last time I saw you, you were training students. So you're talking business. So now you've taken what you were talking to them and turned it and made it your own.
Absolutely. And so with the applesauce business, the long-term goal, of course, is leaving legacy, but I'm also looking at workforce development. So still kind of bringing that education back into that. But yes.
Okay, so let's talk about some success, because you've had some success. So it's not just local, and the idea is to take this to the mega scale, because you said, how many applesauce producers are there out there?
At a large scale, probably have a top 2 or 3. I know, of course, we know the top 2, White House and Mott's. There's some other kind of mid-range companies, but I'm trying to get to that level. I want to be there.
So right now, hey, shout out to Marcy, Mike King here. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1, The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. Marcy was down with me way down in Chester. That was the start on the mic with Mike. People were scared to come to the station, and nobody could find it. Nobody could find the station. And I'm like, so where are you? I'm like, do you see that blue dumpster?
Exactly.
That's the door of the station.
Yeah.
But that's where I learned how to be on the air. So you've taken the applesauce business by storm. Let's talk about some of the places where people can find you.
So currently, I'm really excited. We're at Public Lands, which is a subsidiary of Exporting Goods. So it's a huge store in Charlottesville. You can find us in Monticello in Charlottesville, but also locally at Elba Thompson's, the market at 25th Street, Southern States, Cross Brothers Grocery in Ashland, and some of the smaller boutiques like Media Noche, Stony Point, Gracie's Cottage, Midlothian, trying to make sure I didn't forget anyone else. A lot of.
So you're strategic, and it's not everywhere.
No.
But you're not. So it's like I say to people, when Beyonce shows up, it's something big. You're not going to find her at everything everywhere. That's what you're doing. You're strategic, because the idea of what's the goal for you? You want to take this out of state and across the country.
My goal is I have several goals. One, of course, is always legacy. I want to have my grandchildren go into the store and say, that's my grandmother's applesauce. That's the first thing. The second thing is food deserts and underserved populations, because that's my passion, is young people. So I want to hit those schools in those areas, providing this healthy option to snacks in those populations. So that's my community goal as far as touching people there. So I have 2 goals. And overall retirement. I want to be able to retire knowing that the applesauce is not just in the stores making money, but it's making a difference.
And that's what you've always been about.
Absolutely.
Marcy is all right. So Marcy Thornhill, and it is. I still play the promo that she did for me years ago. So congratulations. Like I said, the pandemic really has played a game on us, because, like I said, you're long married. Yes. And it has been that long since I've seen you. But the one part I tell people, brands work. because I see you out there doing all the things that you do. So, thank you for supporting the program. Congratulations. All right, so how can people find you and partake of the applesauce?
Absolutely. So my website is Mrs. MRS Marcy's with an S, homemades with an S.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook under Mrs. Marcy's Homemades, and just check us out, even on TikTok.
One of the great parts about seeing people is, didn't you just go on vacation somewhere? Look at that. See, so that's how the 1% live right there. That's successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Eastern Caribbean, 9 days.
That's what I talk about. Young love. I like that.
I needed that. So damn.
Okay, Lord. So all right. So really quickly, I know you're busy. We're here at Danielle Gilbert's event.
Yes.
And Marcy has been kind enough. How do you go from it's not a 24/7 thing? Have you mastered that, or are you always on with the business?
I'm working on that. So you have to take time out just for health reasons. You want to be mentally healthy when you're in business. The grind is there. You're going to work, but I unplug. I actually do, and I'll go in my greenhouse, or I'll crochet, or I'll just sit and binge out on something I don't need to watch, like Game of Thrones, which I'm really.
Oh, you're one of them?
I'm one of them. So, but it is a 24/7 thing as far as your passion and your desire, but you have to give yourself a mental break so that you can do better. And so I make it a point to do that now. I didn't used to do that, and I did burn out.
There you go. Marcy is Marcy Thornhill. I'd like to thank you for coming on the program. Make sure you check out and support her. She's a longtime friend of the person, of the family. Great person, educator still, and taking the applesauce industry by storm. Mike will be back in just a moment.